After watching the parliamentary debate in response to a petition to ban Donald Trump from coming to Britain, I soon realised that very few of them had actually listened to what Donald Trump had said, and some of them misquoted, some quoted comments out of context, and some omitted to say what he said, but rather spake from what they thought he said. Needless to say, I was very disappointed with most of them. The following video will give you a rundown of what Donald Trump actually said and what the media reported, and it is from what the media reported that our MPs acted. The playlist for Donald Trump and the UK Parliament is listed below. Please subscribe if you like this video.
Donald Trump, what did he actually say about immigrants? Quote, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending the best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they're telling us what we're getting." All right, I'm sure you don't need a lot of help breaking this down, but he said he's talking about illegal immigrants from Mexico, and there's a subset of them that are criminals. They're bringing drugs across the border, and they're rapists, and so on, right? The New York Times. Trump's claim that illegal Mexican immigrants are rapists. Okay, so going from a subset to a whole. You'll see this pattern repeated over and over and over again in attacks on anyone the media doesn't like. We'll see this with Rosie O'Donnell. We'll see this with a variety of other issues. The Huffington Post. He called Latino immigrants criminals and rapists. Okay, illegal immigrants, first of all, that's a subset of immigrants. Of course, a lot come in legally, and criminals and rapists as a subset of the illegal immigrants, so they extrapolated it so that he was calling all Latino immigrants criminals and rapists. Washington Post, he referred to Mexicans as rapists. See, that's even better because he's now apparently not just talking about a subset of illegal immigrants coming into the United States, but every single person in Mexico. Not true. Time magazine, Trump's comment that Mexican immigrants are rapists. Again, not true. Trump called Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals. Again, not true. LA Times, describing Mexican immigrants as rapists. Not true. Fortune, branding Mexican immigrants as criminals and rapists. Not true. Hollywood Reporter, he referred to Mexican immigrants as rapists. Not true. CBS News, Trump defends calling Mexican immigrants rapists. Not true. And again, the media, maybe there are older guys in the media who don't understand that there's YouTube or something, and so they don't know that people can go and get the real information, which widens their distrust in the mainstream media. When you see someone's comments mischaracterized in such an egregious way, you simply lose faith in the mainstream media because either they're not checking the source, in which case they're incredibly irresponsible, or they are, but they're not telling the truth about it, in which case they're not interested in informing you, they're interested in controlling the narrative and controlling you. Mitt Romney, I think he made a severe error in saying what he did about Mexican Americans, and that's not even close to the truth. You see, Mexican Americans, I would assume, are those who have immigrated to America and have become citizens, or at least landed immigrants. And so he's not talking about those at all. And so this is like even more of a miss. Jeb Bush said, "To make these extraordinarily ugly kinds of comments is not reflective of the Republican Party. He's doing this. He's not a stupid guy, so I don't assume he thinks that every Mexican crossing the border is a rapist. He's doing this to inflame and incite and to draw attention, which seems to be the ongoing principle of his campaign." Of course, he didn't say every Mexican crossing the border is a rapist, because a lot of them are crossing the border perfectly legally. Rick Perry. Hey, did these glasses make me look smart yet? Donald Trump does not represent the Republican Party. I was offended by his remarks. To paint with that broad a brush, he's going to have to defend those remarks. I never will. Heaven spare us from people who are just offended. Marco Rubio, quote, "Trump's comments are not just offensive and inaccurate, but also divisive. Our next president needs to be someone who brings Americans together, not someone who continues to divide." Bernie Sanders, "That is old-fashioned racism. That is xenophobia. For a major candidate for president of the United States to be throwing slurs at one group of people because of the country of origin that they came from is totally unacceptable, period." And again, he was talking about a subset of the illegal immigrants, not everyone from Mexico. So Bernie Sanders is really upset at slurring while slurring. Hillary Clinton, "I'm very disappointed in those comments. I feel very bad and very disappointed with him and with the Republican Party for not responding immediately and saying, 'Enough, stop it.'" Donald Trump responded by saying, "It seems like I'm sort of the whipping post because I bring it up. And I don't understand whether you are liberal or whether you are conservative or whether you're a Republican, Democrat. Why wouldn't you talk about a problem? The crime is raging, it's violent, and people don't want to even talk about it. If you talk about it, you are a racist. I don't understand it. So what was he talking about? So why is he talking about immigration and rape? Well, Trump had specifically referenced a Fusion article stating that according to directors of migrant shelters, a, quote, staggering 80% of Central American girls and women crossing Mexico en route to the United States are raped along the way. That's 80% of these women en route to the United States are raped along the way. So that's why he's talking about rapists. The data is there, but of course, nobody talks about it. They simply exaggerate and misdirect people. So comparatively, the nonprofit organization Amnesty International has previously estimated the number of women being raped at 60%. Quote, women and girl migrants, especially those without legal status traveling in remote areas or on trains, are at heightened risk of sexual violence at the hands of criminal gangs, people traffickers, other migrants, or corrupt officials. That's from the 2010 Amnesty International report. The mainstream media has regularly joked about the absurdity of Mexico paying for the creation of a wall along the southern United States border. It is claimed that Trump refuses to offer details on how this would be done, but specifics were included in his original immigration paper. Everyone, then you'll see this often. People will say, Donald Trump is not providing any details, any specifics, but he does. So this is what he said, quote, Mexico must pay for the wall, and until they do, the United States will, among other things, impound all remittance payments derived from illegal wages, increase fees on all temporary visas issued to Mexican CEOs and diplomats, and if necessary, cancel them, increase fees on all border crossing cards, of which we issue about 1 million to Mexican nationals each year, a major source of visa overstays, increase fees on all North American Free Trade Agreement worker visas from Mexico, another major source of overstays, and increase fees at ports of entry to the United States from Mexico. Tariffs and foreign aid cuts are also options. We will not be taken advantage of anymore. Now, again, the mainstream media will often portray, he said he's going to do it, how's he going to pay for it? And he said exactly how he's going to pay for it, but they don't want to report on that. This is king. He say, oh, he's got lack of formal plans for X. And it's often after specific policy papers have been published by the campaign.